Welcome to the Matson Shooting Academy podcast. If you're a clay target shooter, then we have what you're looking for. Speaking with some of the best in the industry about the game you're passionate about. Subscribe to the Clay Lab on YouTube and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast platform. The Matson Shooting Academy podcast is brought to you by Castellani USA, Greenwood Custom Stocks, and Ranger Eyewear. Here's your host, Cody Matson of Matson Shooting Academy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Super excited to have Zac Larson on this evening as my guest. Zac is one hardworking man. Met him several years ago at Burge Plantation, and Zac's going on to become the general manager at Old Hudson Plantation, and is doing a bunch of cool things, and super excited to talk to him. So Zac, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely. So recently saw you at the Beretta Classic. Y'all just hosted there at Old Hudson.
Yep. Good shoot. Good turnout.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one I look forward to every year going to. And, I'd describe that as a signature shoot for the club. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think it's one of our signature shoots. We're doing that one. And then we've been doing the state FITASC the last couple of years. And I think that we as a club consider those two our signature shoots. One's in the spring and one's in the fall. And we try and go all out for both of those shoots.
Yeah, and you always do. And that's why I'm excited to have you on the show tonight. I want to, let people know who you are and, what you're doing out there at the club. Old Hudson's a club that I really enjoy coaching at. And that's largely in part to, your target setting. So you and I met, gosh, it's been 4 or 5 years ago now. You were the general manager at a private club called Burge Plantation. And then, but before that, you were at Big Red Oak. Is that right?
That's right. And I want to call myself general manager there at Burge, that is. I managed the sporting clays there at Burge and started out at Big Red Oak, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So, you've had, the fortune of mentoring under some really good people, and one of them is somebody I've known for a long time and consider a good friend, and that's Big Mike Bashaw.
Yep. No, really, when I came into it, I came into it through Big Mike out there. That was my introduction.
Man, what a great dude. He that guy's got a big heart, and has been in the game a long time. So, is that where you learned your target setting from? It was him? Is that what you started doing at Big Red Oak?
So as far as, yes. Everything for me started at Big Red Oak. I bought a dog from him, and it just kind of snowballed into what we're doing. Spent a lot of time out there, volunteered a lot of time, a lot of weekends, just trying to learn and enjoy the company of the people out there and the people that shoot, and have a good time, and really get a chance to get out there and hunt and run my dogs is what I got into it for. But yeah, a lot of the clays. As far as the target setting, out there, got some great opportunities to go out there early on to just, snag a couple days during the week and run out there when Mike was setting for some registered shoots. And just, we had the old Laportes inside boxes, and we had to tilt them over and kick blocks underneath them. And if you put inside one of those boxes, you came out covered in grease, but it was a good time. It was definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I thoroughly enjoy shooting your targets and coaching on your targets and everything. And I've got a lot of admiration for you. You're a really hardworking guy. You're a great ambassador for the sport. You and I have worked together on several occasions. You set targets for me when I was managing Cherokee Rose, and vice versa. I've set targets for you at your shoots and everything. It's just been great. It's been fun to get to know you, and it just over the years we've formed a relationship, professionally on that I think people don't realize what you're doing at Old Hudson. And you left the private game and, went to a public facility. And I think some of your goals were you want to create a name for yourself in the industry, and I think you're doing that. So talk about what you've done at Old Hudson since you've been there, and the projects, because I mean it's extraordinary. I mean it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean at Old Hudson, I mean when I got there, we were trying to run 2 to 3 courses, and we run 3 courses consistently now. I'm trying to keep everything up and running all the time. I mean we got 172 traps on the property.
Wow, that's crazy.
Up there, they had just done the state FITASC and added enough. They'd gone from 152, and we added another 20 up to 172. We got fire trucks that we try and keep elevated targets out there. I think a lot of clubs try and do elevated targets, but it's hard. And Neil found a way to get his targets elevated in a costly manner and fun and inventive ways. So we got those fire trucks out there, and we like to throw high, fast targets off of them, skip some different stuff and practice on that stuff that, you only see those usually at those big tournaments. You don't get a day-to-day opportunity to practice them in a lot of places.
Yes. And, I would say that the fire trucks are your signature at Old Hudson. It is super cool. I don't go anywhere else that I have the opportunity to shoot off of those. And you're right. That's pretty cool. We see those high, fast targets at, all the bigger shoots, but most facilities don't have the opportunity to throw those on a daily basis. And you do. How tall is the tallest tower you have?
We have a fire truck with a 110-foot ladder on it.
Wow. That's wild.
Field.
And there always seems to be a MIDI on top of that. I've noticed that.
There's one MIDI target and one standard target on there.
Yeah. And you send those things to the stratosphere off of there.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, you've also recently done a bunch of work on the courses and everything. So that whole woods course, the layout's completely changed. You put all covered booths on every single station. So is every shooting location covered now?
So yeah, that was a big thing that John and Neil wanted to get done. John and Neil Bush wanted to get done is for that upcoming state shoot that we had in the year past, is to have all of our main event targets, prelim targets, and our super sporting targets to be on covered stands. So we put a lot of work into that, and we have 3 courses, and all 3 courses, there's a covered stand on all 3 of those courses. The temporary sub-gauge stuff and some of the FITASC stuff, there's not covered stands there, but I mean, FITASC is kind of understandable why we don't have covered there. The sub-gauges, they move and kind of shift around, so we use temporary stands on most of them.
Yeah. But those booths, I mean, they're not your average sporting clay cage. I mean, we're talking, the whole squad fits inside them. I mean, it looks like either y'all had a sawmill or they're reclaimed lumber, because I mean they're substantial and they provide a ton of shade. I really enjoy shooting under them.
Yeah, they are all reclaimed lumber from an old cotton mill in Alabama, on the Alabama-Georgia line. Is where all that wood came from. And I mean, they're a good size. We got a good base. We can actually pick them up with a forklift or a skid steer and move them where we need to different locations. They are mobile. So,
man, that's great. That's awesome. And then as far as on the daily basis, what Old Hudson offers, so let's start with the pro shop, and kind of walk through that. And y'all move a ton of guns out of there, and, just kind of talk about what you offer there.
Pro shop. Yeah, we are a Caesar Guarini elite dealer, which means we carry everything from the Invictus 9 down to the Invictus 1, all the Magnuses. We are a Beretta dealer. We carry all the Beretta shotguns and a lot of them. We do carry the Caesar Guarini Summit also, and then the Fab Arm, like the Elos N2 Sports. Those are a big hit here with the people who are just getting into sporting clays. They're a great gun for adjustment on everybody, and get that adjustable comb in there with the adjustable rib, and that gives everybody a good chance to line their eyes up with the gun. And they move a lot of guns through there. I mean, I can't take a lot of credit for that. Neil loves his wheeling and dealing. So if you ever bored and want to just come in and hang out for a little bit, you come on in there and check out the guns and listen to Neil try and sell you 1 or 2 of them.
I know we will. And so talk about the staff. So you got Miss Julie there and at the register, and Miss Nancy, she's in the office all the time.
Yep. We got family wise, Neil, Nancy, John's there a good bit almost every weekend. And then there's Thomas and David, and then Thomas's wife, Lauren, and they're all there on a consistent basis, keeping things going the way we need to. As far as the staff goes, you got Julie. She runs our office and most of the gun sales. She also does a lot of the registration on our shoot. So if you come on out to a registered shoot, Julie. She's there behind the desk checking you in, getting you all set up. And we have 3 to 4 full-time employees that are just loading targets. I mean, 3 courses is a lot to keep up with, and that doesn't even count all our hunting ground. We run 1 to about 6 quail courses, and then we do pheasant tower shoots this time of year coming up. So we got 3 to 4 guys that constantly work on that stuff and keep all that running for us.
Wow. And that's wild. I mean, how big is the property? I mean, it seems to go on forever.
It's 1,500 acres. I think most people have seen about 700 to 800 of it is what you all usually see when you're out there on the sporting clay stuff. So there's another half of it that's quail hunts and the tower shoots. And then they've got a few more pieces, but what we run off is about 1,500 acres is what we're working on.
Wow. That is plenty of room to spread everything out there. And I really enjoy it. But, you touched on that it's a family run business, and I get a real, family atmosphere vibe out there. Everybody's very welcoming, and it's just really, really an enjoyable place to come out to. And, and I see your son's out there working on occasion, and it's a whole family deal.
Yeah. I mean, my kids, I brought them out there and started working. Then, I said, "Hey, you want to come shoot with me?" They said, "No, Dad, that's just work. We're good."
Yeah, they're good. They didn't take the bait on that. So how many kids do you have, Zach?
I have 4 kids, from 23 to 10.
Awesome. So you're in the thick of it, and a lovely wife as well.
Lovely wife. Yep. 24.
Awesome.
Yep. Been awesome.
Well, man, congratulations. That's awesome. So you devote a ton of time to your job and occupation, but it's clearly a passion for you. You love what you do. You put your heart and soul into everything. Everything that you do, is first rate, top notch. Don't cut corners, and really do that. And that passion shows through in your work. And I think you've put your stamp on Old Hudson. And I think that people, you had the state shoot last year. That was a big deal. Y'all pulled that off really, really well. I thought everything ran well. Talk a little bit about hosting a state shoot and what that was like for you.
Fantastic, nerve-wracking, scary. I mean, an amazing experience. It was all those things together. You got a lot of events going on, a lot of people expecting things to go. And like you said, we expect out there at Old Hudson to put on a good show for everybody. Make sure everything runs right and everybody has a good time out there. So it was all those things and amazing. And, to be honest, right after it's like, do I want to do this again? And then about 3 weeks later, it's like, when are we doing the next one? So,
yeah,
it was really great experience.
Well, that tells me that, your heart's in the right place with that stuff. 'Cause it's a ton of work. There's so much preparation into it, but isn't it cool to see, everybody in the community band together and then, take on their share of the work. And, you did a great job. I set some sub-gauge targets out there, and, you delegated and made sure everybody did what they needed to do. And man, it went off without a hitch.
Well, I mean, even that, like you and Harry Harp set the sub-gauge course out there, got Mike Oliver to come in and set some super sporting, got Big Mike to come in and set a prelim and main event. And Jasper to set some prelim targets, got Eric Dorsey in there to do his stuff. So it took a lot of people, but then, you look at just the GSCA community, and we had a ton of people just come out and help us make that shoot happen. Anywhere from putting up tents to, helping tables be in the right place, making sure ice and water got to the right places, and making sure the banquets were right on time. A lot of stuff leading up just to even before the shooter started showing up, helping us get things ready, getting buildings cleaned up. I mean, it was an amazing effort, and amazing to see that the whole GSCA community come together and help us put that shoot on.
Yeah, no, they really did. And I got to see that firsthand, and it's so cool. I mean, there's so many people that were rooting for the club, because that was kind of a put you on the map kind of shoot, and I think it absolutely did, and I hope that Old Hudson is a contender for the state shoot in rotation, and I think that would be great to see.
We definitely want to be in that contention, and we're going to keep on improving the club and getting things ready for a next state shoot, and we'll be putting in for regionals and everything else, trying to get ready and keep on growing the club.
Awesome. So the hope is bid a regional next. Is that kind of the plan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're definitely going to throw our hat in the ring on the regional and get our name out there and continue to try and grow the club.
Man, that would be great. And I know now there's a property across the road for camping and everything during those larger events. How many camping sites y'all have available?
So right now, with just the camping across the road, there's 15 across the road. And then we got another 18 there in the vendor area.
Okay.
And what I'm talking about is just is a 50 amp hookup and water service. So we have
got it.
18 down there in the vendor area, and then 15 across the road.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that gives people plenty of opportunity to stay on site if they want to. And then I know I've personally stayed like in Milledgeville, or that's the nearest town, bigger town, is that right?
Milledgeville is close. Greensboro is another one, and they've just opened another 2 hotels in Greensboro that are about the same distance as Milledgeville, are about 25 to 30 minutes from us.
Oh, cool.
And then we have the Lake Oconee and Sinclair area, which is a tourist area, and so there's plenty of Airbnbs about anywhere from 20 to 15 minutes away from us.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that whole Lake Oconee area. What's that hotel? Is that a Ritz or?
There is the Ritz-Carlton, which is available, and it's about 20 minutes from us. But the rooms are a little up there. I mean, they're a high quality room.
Absolutely, but hey, man, you want to stay in style. That's where you need to stay, right?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Well, cool.
The Ritz even has the shooting grounds on their property, so they do have that. If you were to want to stay there and practice a little bit before you headed over to the club, they do have that available there too.
Yeah, that's great. So just kind of going through the amenities of the club as well. We talked about the 3 courses. You offer skeet and trap, right? So there's a lot of youth teams that I see shooting on the skeet and trap field up there. Is it 2 5-stands or 3 5-stands? I can't remember.
So our normal operations are 2 skeet fields, 2 with a trap overlay on them, 2 5-stands. Then we have the 3 sporting clays courses, and anywhere from an 8 to 6 trap FITASC practice field that we operate full time.
Oh, that's awesome. And I know after a lot of the shoots, y'all leave the parkours up, or at least one of them, for practice after the register shoot or something. Is that something? Are some of the ones left up from Beretta?
So right now from Beretta, we have the red courses left as it is. The white course I had to change slightly. We had a GIAA shoot out there, so that's a high school varsity shoot that went on the white. And then we had to change the woods course. That was our super sporting. We changed that back for our corporate events, which we held. I mean, the week after we had 4 or 5 corporate events after that. And then on the FITASC, we have parkour 1 is still set up. The rest I had to break down for hunting this season.
Okay, I gotcha. But yeah, that's a cool way to have a tournament and then go back and have the ability to practice on those same targets. And I think Old Hudson's got a variety of terrain features. You got the wide open, you got the rolling, you got the woods course is wooded, but there's just a little bit of variety. And then where you throw the parkours, it's open. I guess I'd call it Quail field, but definitely not flat, right? You got a lot of terrain as well, and that's something that is unique to Old Hudson.
Yep. No, plenty of terrain, lots going on there. Good. And that's one of the benefits of owning so many traps, is that after you hold an event like the Beretta Classic, those machines don't get picked up and taken away. They're there, they're set, and you can go practice them. I think it was the same with the state shoot. Even after the state shoot, our main events were still there for people to come back and practice because we own the traps that were out there on the main event.
Yeah, and most, a lot of clubs will have to lease them for something of an event that size. And I mean, they're tore down Sunday night before the shoot-offs are over, right? So speaking of shoot-offs, I was in one of those recently on your new shoot-off area. Tell the listeners about what you created there by the clubhouse for a shoot-off area.
For the shoot-off area, we put together a make-or-break, and we did make-or-break. We ran a make-or-break all during Breda Classic for Friday, Saturday. We had a single day on Sunday, qualifier Friday, Saturday, and then we did the shoot-offs Sunday night down there. It's a full setup, all on the card system. You can go down there. It's set up right now. You can go practice those targets right now.
Yeah, and they are legit. I know from experience. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know anywhere else that keeps a make or break set up for people to go practice, because that game has become just its own thing, man. It's right. So popular, and pretty cool that y'all have that carved out and standalone venue. That's awesome. Cool. Well, I've been out to the club on Sunday mornings, and there's a group that gets together and shoots, kind of go into what goes on at the club, on the weekends, and, just talk about that Sunday morning shoot and what y'all do there.
So we do 2 club shoots during the week. We do one on Thursday night, or afternoon, depending on the time of the year. Right now it's still night. Once the time changes, we'll go up to a lunch and then shoot. On Thursdays, we do 50 targets. That brings a lot of local people off the lake area, and they come out and shoot. That's anywhere from 10 to 15 folks that come out and shoot with us on Thursday night. And we do a potluck dinner or potluck lunch, and everybody brings something. We sit down, we shoot 50 targets, and then we eat and we socialize and have a good time. The Sunday morning shoot is more of a staple out at Old Hudson. I mean, and now both these shoots were both going on before I got there, but the Sunday morning is, if you are looking for competitive practice, I highly recommend you show up for a Sunday shoot. What you do is you come in, you pay $10 goes into a pot. Your name is drawn randomly with another person. The 2 of you make up a team, and the team score is how everything is scored. But you get to get out there and you get to shoot 100 targets with a squad, and it's just like shooting a registered shoot. And you got the pressure of trying to make sure that whoever you might have drawn gets a good score from you, and you both get put in a good score and try and win a small pot of money together. So it definitely gives that feel and atmosphere of good competitiveness, friendly competitiveness, and good place to practice. So we usually do that Sunday mornings at 9:30.
Man, that's so cool. And what a great way to put pressure on practice, get out there and, score the rounds. And, it's a great way to meet people as well. I often have students that, say, man, I love to shoot, but, I don't have anybody to shoot with. And, how do I meet people? I'm not quite ready for registered competitions yet. That would be a great way to dip your toe into the competition pool and come out and meet people and have a chance to win a little cash money too.
Yes, sir. It's a great opportunity to do that. And the best part is you get to meet people. I mean, you sit around and joke with them for a little bit, and you go out shoot, come back, eat some lunch, and joke around a little more, and then head on to your Sunday.
That's great. And what course? I mean, are the targets NSCA difficult level that the Sunday morning group shoots? Are they shooting more of the intermediate course? How do you determine that?
As far as determining what they, there's just whatever the guys feel like shooting that day. Sometimes it's competitive and sometimes it's intermediate. Rarely is it just really soft recreational corporate targets. It's usually intermediate to competitive targets is what we're shooting on Sunday. But, I mean, even if you're shooting just the intermediate targets, it's still that sense of, I'm out there, I got to shoot a good score, right? I'm putting that pressure on myself that, I got to shoot a good score to try and compete against these guys to give myself the best chance at that top spot, So, I mean, every target counts. Even if it's a soft one, that target counts, and you better be focused and ready to hit it.
Hey, you're exactly right. They all count for one. You can't take any of them for granted. No, that's great. So if somebody wants to come join in on that, you said, is that 9:00 Sunday mornings?
9:30.
9:30.
Names at 9, shoot at 9:30.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you haven't participated in one of those, I've done several of them. It's a lot of fun. And actually, you and I shot together on one recently. So you get out there and sling a little lead as well, don't you?
Yeah, like I said, that's being a club manager and working weekends and everything. You don't get a lot of opportunities to go out there and shoot weekend tournaments for practice, for tournament practice. So I consider that my tournament practice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, isn't that a misconception that, man, I'm going to be a gun club manager and I get to shoot all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Talk about a little bit about the hunting side of it. So we've covered a lot of the clay target side of it, but I mean, don't y'all have a quail hatchery as well? Yeah, they're still raising birds. Is that right?
So we do run a hatchery up there also. The majority of what we do is we hatch out day-old chicks and sell the day-old chicks to growers, and the growers usually take those birds and grow them.
I gotcha.
We keep 10 to 15,000 birds ourselves that we grow for part of the hunting season. Some early release birds and some birds that we put and take.
Okay. And then I know you guide as well. I mean, you've got dogs and everything. So when are have the hunts started already?
Yeah, so our hunting season runs October 1st through March 31st. We've done a couple of hunts so far. It's just really weather related, the beginning of the season. We'll really start picking up here about mid-November as far as the hunts go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I got into this business, was to guide quail hunts.
So that's kind of where your passion lies. You started with
Yeah, started with the dogs, really enjoyed running the dogs, and ended up, got to do something during the summer. So we started putting clay targets in machines and seeing what they'd do.
That's cool. Yeah, it's hard to believe, right? You wound up where you're at now, starting from there with a dog, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Dogging.
Yeah. Now, I've been out there before when there's been, corporate groups going on. I know you all do a lot of corporate entertainment. I know you do a lot of charity shoots and all that. But the majority of the business and what I see, is growing exponentially is the clay target side of it. And I know you all have some big shoots coming up. There's one in March, right? It's the state FITASC, but y'all have done it differently this year. I saw you coupled super sporting with it.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to throw, we've been doing the state FITASC with about 200 FITASC targets, doing an old style layout with those, and then some super sporting and sporting side events. And I think we kind of maxed out about 160, 150 as far as participants go for that. So we decided to add a little something in there, try and see if we can get that number up a little bit, just give everybody a better pool to shoot in. And so we took the FITASC targets, dropped them down to 150, and then added 200 super sporting targets. So we're going to do the state FITASC and super sporting together in March.
Yeah, that's super cool. So my favorite game far and away to shoot is FITASC, and I always look forward to that Georgia State FITASC shoot. And y'all structure it pretty cool, in my opinion, where you do a grand champion. So you throw 20 gauge FITASC, you throw 28 gauge FITASC, and then you take your 12 gauge FITASC score and then combine that for a grand champion. Are you keeping that same format? Is that changing this year?
Yeah, and I can't take credit for that format. That's a Sammy McFadden format, which he really pioneered that grand champion. And yes, we are doing it, and we're going to do sporting as well.
Yeah. So Sam, big shout out to Sammy. You won't find a gentleman that's more passionate about FITASC and being the chief referee. He always organizes such a great crew of refs, and any shoot that I've ever worked that he's been involved, he's just such a great guy. It runs so well.
Yeah, no, he manages that. And for Beretta Classic, he did set all our FITASC targets, and he's been doing that for us for a while. And great targets, great management overall of the shoot. It's a real blessing to have him on our team out there when we're doing these shoots.
Yeah, I agree. He's a huge value added to that, and just an all-around nice guy. I always enjoy seeing him smiling, walking out and do his parkour. Awesome. So, there's so many shoots going on. If you want to go to a shoot every single weekend, you easily could here in Georgia. But I saw a pretty big payout, $62,000 in guaranteed payout on that shoot.
Yep.
Man, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a huge purse.
Yep. BC, they're out there trying to get them to have a place to shoot and, have something to shoot for.
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta bring up the trophies that y'all do. I'm sitting here in my office and I'm looking around, and there's quite a few of them around. But
Right.
Julie hand makes all these trophies, correct?
She does.
Man, that is so cool. And that's something that not a lot of clubs are offering anymore is trophies, right? It seems like they get stuck with them and, but it sure seems like everybody loves an Old Hudson trophy.
Yeah, I mean, and trophies can be a double-edged sword. You do them for everybody, and you do them for all the different classes and the concurrence and everything, and it adds up pretty quick. And then without fail, you're going to end up with about a third of them. You're just kind of storing them for a while, uh, but then you get the people who love them, and they're right there waiting for them and waiting for that picture. And I mean, just that alone makes you say, okay, I can handle hang on to a third of them.
Yeah.
That kid that up and said, I finally won a trophy.
Yes, exactly. And man, that moment is so valuable.
Right.
In my opinion, is getting that, that picture in front of the banner for the kids with the trophies. And listen, I ain't gonna lie, I like to have my trinkets and pickle dishes as well. So it's a momentum of the day. But no, that's really cool. I want to highlight that because that's something that not everybody's doing, and that's just y'all are putting in a ton of effort on that stuff. And every event that I've been to of Beretta Classic size or anything, it's been trapped. All your trappers are phenomenal. That's no easy feat either, is lining up those trappers.
Right. No, I mean, the trappers are good, and really the state shoot gave us a good opportunity to really dip into that pool and be able to reach out to a bigger group of folks to come out and trap for us. And quality over quantity,
Yeah,
we're all about that. So
yeah, I agree, and I see that every time I'm there. So going on to the future shoots and everything, I mean, that's the big one coming up, but y'all do pretty much monthly registered shoots, do you not?
yeah, we do. I mean, most clubs in Georgia, we're on the calendar. We do the monthly shoots. We do the circuit shoots. That calendar is coming out here pretty quick, and we'll have all that stuff. We do those. So as far as shoots go, we also do a triple shoot, which is a lot of folks don't do, and encourage everybody to bring their automatics, and we have enough traps and machines and on a course that we throw triples out there at people. Get full use of your automatic shotgun.
Oh man, that makes the hunting crowd happy.
Oh
So cram it full of shells and shoot till it's
yeah,
empty.
yeah. We throw a single, you get 3 shots at it, or we'll throw a report pair, and remember you got that extra shot on that report pair, and then we'll throw a triple. We'll throw 3 targets out there, and you get to shoot them. So
Man, that's fantastic. It probably helps with ammo sales too.
oh, of course.
That's great. Well, every time I've walked into the clubhouse, there's a pile of ammo there. What are y'all offering these days for shells?
RCs, we got a good selection of RCs, AA, and Fiocchi is what we're carrying right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then behind the counter, I always see a steady supply of your 9mm 223 22 long rifle and everything you need.
Yeah, no, we like to keep our ammunition stocked up. I think we forgot to mention that we do have a members pistol range down there, a 50-yard pistol range. So
That's right.
we have most of our pistol stuff up there. As far as ammunition goes, we do sell a few pistols, mostly Berettas. So we got up there. So
Okay. Yeah, I forgot all about that pistol range. I see it every time I drive by, but yeah, and I hear people down there banging steel targets often. Cool. So at the clubhouse there, instead of golf carts, y'all have an entire fleet of Kawasaki Mule crew passenger. I mean, riding in style in those things.
oh yeah. Yep. I mean, and to be honest, I've been at clubs that have golf carts, that have had electric carts, had gas carts, and man, the maintenance and upkeep on those things would blow your mind. Trying to keep batteries, and the batteries fall out the bottom on the thing. These Kawasaki mules are amazing. I mean, there is very little maintenance we have to do with them, even though we bounce around on these gravel roads all the time. I mean, they are holding up well. There's not a lot to do to them because they're built so well, and they're built to do what we're doing with them. I think the golf carts were meant for a paved path on a golf course, and you pull them off and you start throwing them on these gravel roads and bouncing them up and down hills and everything, and they're just not built for it.
No, they're not. And the ride is rough. I mean, it's terrible in the golf carts. And, y'all have a lot of distance from the clubhouse to the courses. And, I mean, they ride phenomenally. I mean, they're really smooth. You got sure grip unracks in the back of them that securely grip those guns. I mean, really, that's an above and beyond, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bonus for us. I mean, I think we make up for it on just the maintenance cost. We are not that high on maintenance, even though we carry 20 Kawasaki 4-seater mules.
That's a bunch. Well, that's cool. Well, speaking of club amenities and everything, you got Kia's Kitchen up there cranking out some pretty delicious food. And so the club's now offering food, right?
Yeah, and we have been for the last little bit, probably last year and a half. And the main reason behind that is there's just not a lot of good locations for folks to run out and grab lunch real quick. If you get here, we wanted to give you guys the opportunity to come out there and shoot all day, not have to shoot half a day and then try and find something to eat somewhere. And if you did that, you were leaving the property for about 20, 30 minutes one way, and it's not a good idea, not easy to return another 30 minutes, spend an hour and a half out there trying to grab lunch.
No, it's convenient. Just have it right there up at the pavilion, and that's excellent.
Yep, and she does a great lunch. Menus changing all the time, so she's always got something different and exciting and new up there.
Yeah, when I brought out my travel group of guys, when we've done some lessons out there, always been a delicious lunch. The catfish is off the chain, and everything she's ever come out of that kitchen has been pretty dang good.
Yeah, and then the Saturdays we do our registered shoots, and on Saturdays of our registered shoots, we do a fish fry. I think they might have tried not doing a fish fry once about 4 or 5 years ago, and they just about strung them up. So we do a free Saturday.
I'm telling you, once you set that precedence, people are expecting their fish.
That's right.
Yeah. So I was out there in the summer, and the ice cream maker machine was cranking some homemade ice cream. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, another tinker toy.
That's right. Hey, you got to have them. You got to have them. Something else that always, speaking of being up at that pavilion, that always impresses me is all the trophies and medals and awards for the youth teams that, are home based out of Old Hudson there. And one of them, is the Lake Oconee shotgun team. You got Piedmont shooting out of there. You got Gatewood. And I mean, I see the club being so invested in the youth shooting and promoting youth shooting. I mean, to me, that's the next generation, and we gotta facilitate that. And I know you do some coaching. I know John does some coaching. But man, it's just so good to see that those teams are home based out of there, and y'all are facilitating that.
Yep. I mean, there's been some amazing talent that's come out of just that little club right there. I mean, you got Jasper Copeland shot there. You got Dylan Thompson shot there. You got the Carson Lingle is shooting there now. Bryson, I won't pronounce his name wrong, but Bryson's out there shooting too. And these guys are all top of their game right now. And it's pretty amazing to watch these young kids shoot and see the talent level that we got just in this area. It's very amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And, that also doesn't happen if they don't have the proper training grounds, right? I mean, if they're not able to practice on the type of targets that they are going to see in competition, I mean, they're not going to achieve that level of success either. So, I mean, that speaks to, kudos to you in your target setting and throwing those bigger, harder birds and challenging them and, making them grow as a shooter and, but having something for everybody at the same time, right? I mean, you can get the person that's never ever shot, and they can go to the one course, and then you can challenge the best in the game, and all in the same place.
Oh yeah, yep.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, there's definitely some big talent that's come out of there, and that is super cool. Super cool to see. So, I mean, there seems like there's never-ending projects that are just continuing to go on, but in a good way. So I was there for Beretta. What's going on with that big pavilion next to the clubhouse?
We're expanding that just to expand some of our storage. Our fleet of 20 Kawasaki mules needs a home. The sun is just brutal on anything out there, but that's mainly what that is for.
Okay.
For corporate events, you'll easily pull those carts out and slide some stuff in there for some larger corporate events or fundraiser shoots that we have coming up. We'll have plenty of room for all that stuff. That's going on right there as we get ready to bid and put in for some of these bigger shoots. We're getting ready to expand our access to other parts of the plantation, mainly for the shooters, just egress and ingress in different areas. So we've been working on that, and listen, if you're ever bored and need something to do for a couple of days, you come on out. We got plenty to do.
Put you to work, huh? Give you a hard hat and turn you loose. Nice. That's great. Well, Zac, it's been great talking with you. I appreciate your time on this, and I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you giving Matson Shooting Academy a platform to coach out at Old Hudson. I've done a bunch of clinics out there. One was really fun. We did a FITASC clinic, but just super grateful to have the opportunity to coach out there. Y'all always welcome me with open arms, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's always great to have you out there. We're open to the public club. Love to have people come out and shoot with us and, give us their opinion on our targets, make our targets better, make our facilities better. We're always open to everything that anybody may throw our way.
Cool. And then, so it is open to the public. That's a good point. But y'all offer a membership as well, right?
Right. And the membership helps out, one, with the pistol range. We talked about that. A lot of people get it just for access for that. And it gives you a discount on the golf carts and the clay targets that are out there. And then on the gun showroom inside there, you can see a member price on all the guns out there, and there's a discount for members on that. As far as the discounts go, we also offer a kids discount on all of our targets, which is even a little bit less than the member discount. So you pay a little bit less per target for kids, for youth. And then the gun discount for members is in place for the youth also out there.
Man, that's outstanding. Just another way to help the youth out and get them shooting. It's definitely not a cheap sport.
That's why Old Hudson exists, is for the kids. They were out there, and Lake Oconee Skeet was up there, just up the road, up 16 from them. It closed down, and Lost was looking for a home, and they came to the Neil and Nancy Bush and asked if they could start shooting there. And that's really how Old Hudson started off in the clay target business, was getting those kids out there and letting those kids skeet and trap out there on their fields.
Man, that's right. That's awesome. Started with the youth, stayed focused on the youth, and tried and true to this day. And that's great. Awesome. Well, Zac, thank you again for your time. I know you're heading out to nationals next week. Good luck out there, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds great. I appreciate it, Cody.
Absolutely. You take care, buddy.
Will do.
Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform to the Clay Lab so you don't miss an episode. Check out MatsonShootingAcademy.com or reach out to Cody at MatsonShootingAcademy@gmail.com. Consider joining as a channel member too by clicking that join button below on YouTube for early access to videos and podcasts. We'll catch you here next time on the Matson Shooting Academy podcast.